Welcome back, Mzansi. Always so good to be with you. We are finding out this morning, what does it mean in terms of, SARS pretty much saying to the influencers and content creators that it is time to be compliant. We're finding out how exactly they can stay on the right side of history, on the right side of finances, and so much more. And yes, we've been getting into what exactly it is that they're getting taxed on. And helping us out today, it is Hiten as well as Luncedo. And gentlemen, I had just left us off where I said, a lot of our content creators are lucky enough to work with international brands. So when they do work with an international brand, Hiten, what exactly happens? How are they able to make sure that they are complying when it comes to SARS and tax?
Well, firstly, if you're going to work with international brands, sometimes international brands are going to ask you, do you have a registered entity, or are you acting in your own sole capacity?
Yeah.
Now, in a registered entity's perspective, most international brands are going to ask you for tax clearance certificates. They're going to ask you for company registration documents.
Sure.
And on the tax clearance certificate side, it's important that you're going to have to submit your returns now on SARS itself. And that means either annual returns that you have to declare, sometimes provisional tax needs to be declared. Secondly, if the international brand is paying you from an overseas account,
okay,
when that payment comes in, it has to get cleared by the Reserve Bank. So there's a BOP form that the Reserve or the international company will have to complete to say that they're paying you. And then that, whether it's a consulting fee or whatever the code that they use, that information is kept on record. Now, if SARS gets hold of that record and you don't declare that correctly, if you're acting in your own capacity, that's a red flag that you'll be caught on. And why I say that is, think about it, as an influencer and a content creator, the lifestyle you're projecting on social media is accessible to everyone.
Facts.
And if you're living a lavish lifestyle on social media and then SARS goes and checks all your returns that you've declared and they don't match, that's going to cause an even bigger alarm bell coming down to your throat to say, hello, we see some things not matching here, we need to audit you. And when it comes to audit, you have to then declare all your information. Alternatively, you have the process of doing what we call a voluntary disclosure procedure on tax. So if you know that you've made a mistake in honesty, you're able to then rectify that mistake through a VDP.
Okay, so not all hope is lost if you find yourself on the wrong side of life. And this is why now, I guess, then we need to always make sure that we're checking where we are. So, Luncedo, what is the quickest way to check your current SARS status and also just to spot any obvious mismatches?
Yeah, I think what is important also is that the viewers should not be scared of SARS.
Okay.
So that's number one.
Okay.
And people shouldn't look at SARS as out there to get them. No. All SARS is doing is just to follow and enforce the legislation, right? So number two, the way the taxation laws in South Africa works is that they work on voluntary disclosure basis, right? So people shouldn't be scared or fear that SARS knows everything about them. So all was clear. You declare, then SARS receives what you have declared. Then, of course, they would perform the verification in terms of reasonability basis to say, hold on, you have declared 300,000 rands, but you've made or you've bought a house worth 5 million rands. How does that work? Do you understand? So all of that information can be easily accessible because this is a government agency. They've got access to different agencies they actually work with.
Yes.
So people shouldn't be scared of that.
Yes.
So number two, so in terms of also if you want then to declare, go to e-filing. E-filing is your way to go. SARS has been clear to say, look, they want to be digital as much as they can. You don't have to go to the branch and be standing on the queues and all of that. Everything is easily accessible online. Go www.sars.gov.za. And again, if you're not aware about what you need to do, on that website, there are guides on each and every step of what you need to do. So if you're not sure about what to declare, what to save, and all of those kind of things, the guys are there to really show you even how e-filing in relation to that works. So people must just be open and engage SARS and not be scared that, okay, I'm going to be caught and all of that. Of course, when there's an audit, then that's when they confirm what you've declared, indeed, if it is true. Therefore, if they realize that there's more to it, then that's where the penalties then start.
Then
you'll
get into trouble.
You get into trouble.
Yes.
So let's create, I think, that that platform or that environment that people shouldn't feel that, government is out there to get their tax money.
It's Kebengas that are scared of SARS.
No.
As taxpayers, we're not scared. Let's not say it's scared. But Hiten, I want to come to you, please, because, I want to understand when we talk about a tax jar, how is it that people are able to set it aside, and why is it so important, would you say?
Simple principle, cash flow management.
Okay.
Cash flow 101. Understand what comes into your bank account and what goes out of your bank account. That's monthly budgeting expenditure that you got to do in life. And that is done through a simple Excel sheet. You can get a template of Excel and just type in search for a budget template. And all you got to do with tracking is what is coming inside, what's coming outside. Principles at a high level that every individual should look at is 50% of your income is generally towards expenditure on a monthly basis. 30% you should be keeping aside for savings purposes, and the 20% is an emergency rescue that you should have. Of that 30%, keep aside 10% of that cash, so you know that you have to settle SARS in future. However, again, going back to the process, if you ensure that you keep all your claims on the expenditure side correctly, you may actually be able to get a refund from SARS. And if you get the right fringe benefits put in place for you, for example, travel allowances and that, when you're traveling and you have that into your expense claims, you'll find that you'll get a rebate from SARS. So it's not all lost that you have to be paying SARS. You just have to be smart about how you structure it.
Yes, amazing. Gentlemen, thank you so much for breaking this down so nicely for us. I'm hoping that our influencers are listening, and thank you so much for being here this week.
Pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Of course. This is what we love, getting knowledgeable about the things that we might not have known much about, and this is what we get into right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. For now, though, my beautiful Cape Town family, earlier on, we called it a grey area. I think Hiten and Luncedo have helped us just to kind of even out what exactly it is we can understand from this, friends. My Graham and my Carissa and you, Grant, are you guys feeling a little bit more clear on it now?
Yep, definitely feeling a lot more clear. Thank you so much to the gents for giving us the information that we need to feel well equipped going forward. Yes, I understood it, so therefore, surely you did as well. For now, though, South Africa is bursting with road trip gems. We know it, we love it. And today we're putting your wanderlust to the test.